The Girl and the Sea. Our story begins with a girl that lived in a town forgotten by most. Matilda, not more than 15 years old, seated on the Norfolk coast. She was, of course, a special girl, so different to those you have seen because she had a power, a special power that allowed her to talk to the sea. Her ears behind those pigtails swung, huge from side to side. With them she would hear the waves speak of a billion lives. Are you insane? I hear you say, but trust me, I kid you not. She would sit as hours would meet with days, speaking from the peak of a rock. And the sea would speak, whisper, scream, telling stories of rising tides. And all the people in all the town would listen to Matilda confide. She lived in a hut, a tiny hut, with a tiny broken door, filled to the brim with brick and brack that the sea had gifted their shore. For instance, when the sea had spoken of the displaced polar bear, he'd washed a broken bridge to the coast for her to share. And when she found it, she showed the town they believed not what they saw. A polar bear's footprints lined the fridge's door. Each time a new object arrived, she'd let the people know, 'cause it helps in times of struggle to know you're not alone. But forget her for a second, because she is half the story. The other half involves the prince and all his royal glory. Far away in a distant place, this prince was open-eared, with a circle of scientists, graphs and charts, explaining what they had feared. They lectured on ice caps, analyzed pollution, they projected the rising seas. He researched the facts, but still no solution. He was told this was how it would be, but still, he built sturdy walls, barriers that would not fall. But days met weeks, and in months he found each wall, each barrier was quickly drowned. He turned to the people, unsure of what to do, and spoke with a voice so pure and so true.
He who can stop the sea will earn a place with me. He who can halt the waves that roar will be my friend forevermore. Prince needs help, all must know, all must know.
And so every townsman told Matilda to go. So she decided to go. To sail, in fact. The sea breeze in her sails and the cheers at her back. Across days of trouble she arrived in the town, full of cars, smoke, and litter in mouths. No wonder nobody knows our plight. They're too busy working day and night. This country of ours needs to hear the truth. And so she found herself in the palace queue. Thousands had turned up, mostly old, with water extractors and walls of gold, with pipes and suckers and humongous dams, but the prince had tried every one of these plans. So finally, as the sun rose on the city, Matilda approached the prince and spoke of the struggle inside the village of the people she was living with. I have spoken to the sea about so many mistakes. She told me the ultimate truth. No matter our fight against our waves, there is nothing that we can do. The prince was appalled, saddened by her claims. It angered him to know he'd never known their pain. He doubted her and shouted so all the city heard,
I shall journey to Norfolk and stop the seas that stir.
As you know, she was a tiny girl, but she had a massive mind. She knew he could not alter the sands of this ever-changing time. But she wanted the world to hear the shouts of a town now going rotten, and wanted the voices of the voiceless people to never be forgotten. So off they went, from London to Norfolk, on a boat that creaked and cracked, a boat too weak to carry the entourage the prince always had. And along the way an adventure grew as children from all around lined the coast, shouting and screaming of the perils of their town. Just as the sea had said, Matilda was not alone. The prince found it hard to believe the sights that he was shown.